Hello and welcome to ITC Techshare. I'm Tom Grissom. Today I'll be discussing part 3 of 3 of our Smart Notebook Toolbar series, and this is version 11.3. So today we'll be concentrating on what we have highlighted here in purple. So we'll be going over some of these different tools today. So let's go ahead and get started. Now some of these you have seen me use in part 1 and part 2, but let's just go ahead and create a new page. So we'll start with a clean slate here. And since we're already on our pens, you've seen me use the pens before, but this is part of the adaptive toolbar. You will notice if I select the letter A here, this will take me to the text field, and all the properties over here change according to what tool that I have available. So let's go back and touch the pens. And I actually have, see this little triangle right here. And once again, if you click on that little triangle, there'll be additional choices. So I actually have different types of pens. I have a crayon style. Let's go ahead and select that. And then you can see that I have different colors of crayons. So I have blue, I have green, and so forth. I also have highlighters. You've seen me use the highlighter here before. So if we want to highlight something in yellow, we can do that, change to whatever color we would like to do. We also have a creative pen. These are kind of fun if you want to do some things, so we can select some of the different ones and have like a little rainbow color, have some little smiley faces and so forth, so you can get a little bit creative with that. And then we also have what's called the magic pen, and if I select the magic pen and come out here and start drawing something. So let's give some eyes here to our little happy face. And what will happen in about 5 seconds to 10 seconds, you'll start to see this ink disappear, and that's why it's called the magic pen, because the ink disappears. So if you want to annotate something and you don't want to erase it anytime, you can select the magic pen, annotate, make a pointer arrow, whatever you want to do, and then it will automatically start disappearing in 5 or 10 seconds. The one thing to remember though is once you select that magic pen, I always force myself to go back and select it to a regular pen, just so my ink doesn't disappear on me if I don't want it to. Other items over here, this is the select button. It looks like a little mouse cursor. So this is how we select items. Everything on the smart board is considered an object. So if I want to come over here and select this little group of happy smiley faces here, I can do that. And since it is an object, I can grab the corner and make it smaller or larger just by click, hold, and drag. And this isn't going to be a good example, but I can rotate it, you know, if I want to go at an angle or something. So I can do that, and that's done with the selection tool. And then once again, here's one of those little triangles. That means there are additional choices out there. So if I want to delete that object, I can just come down here and hit delete. Let's say I didn't want to delete it. I can always come back and undo my last action, and actually it'll back up through several different steps. A different way that I could delete that, since this object is selected, I can go up and hit the red X, and that will delete it as well. Let's add another page. Start with a clean slate again. Let's go next door here to the select tool, and these are our shape tools. So once again, when I select that, you'll see the adaptive toolbar change to different things. Now earlier I was drawing some squares that were not the best squares in the world. So what this will allow me to do is I can come out here and draw a perfect square. Or, you know, this is great for math teachers if I want to draw a circle and it look like a circle. Triangles and things, so I've got all these different choices. And you even have some specialty items here if you want to draw like a gold star. Here's a little heart symbol. Okay, so those are the different choices with our tools. Now you will also notice there's a properties bar off to the side here that I can change my color. So once again, if I make a selection, let me select this square by dragging the cursor across the square. And if I come up here and click on the properties, I can actually come out here, and let's say that I wanted to have a red box for some reason, so I could go to my fill color and make that red. And if I wanted to have a yellow border, I can make any combination of colors and things. So that is what the properties will do. The next one over is my line style. So if for some reason you wanted to have dashed lines, dotted lines, dash, dot, dot, dash, you have these different symbols. Or if you want to go really large, if you want to have a big border, you can change those around. And then this last thing over here, this is the transparency slider. So let's say I want to have something kind of translucent. So if I move this slider bar over, whoops, I lost my selection. If I move this slider bar, I can make it a little bit transparent. If I can take it all the way down, I can make it completely disappear. But this is helpful sometimes if you're wanting to, emphasize something or de-emphasize something. So that's the transparency slider. Next door to it are my different shapes. So I have like a 3-sided triangle. I can come up and do a 7-sided object. Let's go out and do 12-sided dodecahedron. So again, this is kind of handy for math class, geometry, whatever you're doing. Those are the different things. And once again, I could change my color, my line style, and my transparency for any object that I would select. And then I've already talked a lot about the pens. Let's go ahead and go to text. So if I come out here and select text, you will see I get the different options of different styles: bold, italics, underline. If I want to left justify, right justify, change my text size to something larger. So let me come up here, and it's just sitting here waiting for me to type away. I'm going to get my keyboard out and had snapped my keyboard on here. So there we go. So that's my text. And once again, since this is an object and I have it selected, I can make it very large or I could make it very small. And then I also have this little green rotate button, so I could rotate that around whatever I might want to do with it. So that's the text. Let's start a new page. It's getting a little bit busy, so let's create a new page. Next door to the text is my line tool. So I've got all kinds of different lines. Let's say I want to come out here and draw a number line. So I can come out there. I've got different options. Squares on the end, do dashed lines, and so forth. Again, I can change my colors and things out there. Let me go out and let me just write something. So that's a line. And then this next tool, I wanted to have something on my screen, is the eraser tool. So if I click on that, I have a small eraser, a medium eraser, and a large eraser. I usually go for the large one because when I mess up, I usually mess up big. And what I can do now is I can erase whatever's on my screen. Now notice it will not erase this line. This line is an object, so I must first select it. So I'm going to go back to my select tool, draw my selection box around it. Now that it's selected, I can come up and hit the delete button. So that's it. That's part 3 of 3 of the toolbars for the Smart Notebook version 11.3. We went over the selection tool, the shapes tool, regular polygons tool. Well, we didn't go over fill. Let me stop here a minute. Let's just go over here and let's do a hexagon here real quick. And once again, let me make a selection. So I'll choose this. And I forgot to tell you, I forgot to mention here, there's actually a fill, a little paint bucket here. So let me choose blue, and then that will fill it into whatever color that I have. I can also come up here and kind of freehand some things. So if I want to draw a circle or something, I can grab my paint bucket, choose whatever color, let's choose yellow, and then click on the inside of that, and that will fill the object. So that's what the paint bucket tool is. The pen tool, the text tool, the line tool, and then of course the eraser tool. So that will wrap up our part 3 of 3 of the Smart Notebook toolbar.